Hey y'all, Jeff here with Jeff's Cars and Garage, and welcome back to another video. And I'm out here in the garage, and you can see a little bit of the car sitting in the garage. That this weekend, this is kind of going to be the focus of the weekend, I guess, if you want to call it that. Got a lot of work to do on it, and really I've really neglected it, but it's one of those things where we were focusing on the 350 SL, going from red to white, and as you noticed in the last video, I had this out in the yard, and so it starts, it runs, it drives, and I'll kind of go through it. Of what some of the things that we need to do, to start putting it back together. I've taken a few things apart, but I'll cover some of that in a bit. However, I am going to make what I'm also going to work on. And this is the washer reservoir out of the 300 SL that we bypass the heater core or the heating element that keeps the washer fluid, warm in the wintertime. Now, both these little rubber grommets, are bad. In fact, the parts are supposed to be, according to USPS, they're supposed to be on their way, or they are on their way. They're moving right now. So, should that arrive, I will actually probably do a video, putting this all back together and get that out before I start working on this. But so. And I don't know if Jose is going to be here this weekend. Normally, he usually comes out, but he's changing. He was changing jobs, and so he may be tied up with his new job this weekend. But we'll see what happens. But we'll cover that. The next thing that I'm going to work on, probably not this weekend, but maybe. Well, and I might get to it. Depends. It's supposed to be extremely hot this weekend. But as you see, I've got two rolls of carpet sitting here. One right here, and then I've got one right here. And these are they're pretty much the same. This one is for redoing the carpet in the trunk of the 280 SEL. And this one, rather than try and order the rubber mats for the trunk that the 1972 350 SL actually required, I probably mentioned in one of my videos that I was just going to carpet it. So I found that at a home improvement store, and that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to carpet the trunk. Now, what I'm going to do, and some of my parts and pieces are inside in the house because I kept them in there during the winter. But what we're going to do first of all, as you see, the passenger seat is not in there. It is sitting right here. We've had this out the entire time. And one of the things that I'm missing is, I'm going to try and get the camera down here, is this requires a cage nut right there. And that's so that the seat bolts down. Well, I've looked and looked, and I've chased it and chased it and chased it, and I have not found any cage nuts. And I think it's a number 7. It's a metric, obviously. Cage nut, and I just can't find any. And so what Jose suggested was, okay, we'll peel this carpet back, a little bit, and we'll cut this out just a little bit, bend this back, and weld a nut right underneath it, and then put it back down and weld it back. Now, I really didn't want to do that to disturb it, but I may have to. And so we're going to talk about that because I want to put the seats back in. And I've got the driver's side carpet. You know, it's done. It's clean. Or the driver's side. The passenger side carpet done and clean. So it's ready to go back in. I've got the rear seat one over there. It's ready to go back in. That's how it's been left all winter. And I don't know if you can tell in this on the video, but I think you can because it looks kind of odd. That driver's seat is leaning towards the right, you know, towards the center of the car. And what's happened is the reclining function, when you do the knob, it only moves the driver's side. It will not move the passenger side. So what I'm going to have to take that seat out and see if I can get the rod that goes across for the gears on that to function. The next thing, and if you go back to a few videos, as you see the glove box door, we'll let the camera sit there and focus. The glove box door is missing. Well, it's inside and it's completely redone. I would like to take the rest of the wood out of the dash and, you know, sand it down and, you know, fix it, you know, to make it match. Not sure if I'm going to get to that yet or not, or just put the glove box door back in and see. There's a couple of cage nuts that go in there as well. The next thing is this door. This is the highest that the window goes up, and so that's another thing. You got to take the door card off, take it apart, and see what's going on with the window regulator and or the track. And then, as you can see, the door moldings, these are the ones that I ordered. They came from Turkey, and I want to get online and see if I can find any more, you know, like I got for the 350 SL and the Euro brand, because these are definitely not the right size. And I think I did in a video said I'm going to just make them work. Well, they're a little less than they're just not fitting right, and then they don't go around and seal as you go around the bottom. Now, we can make it work, and as you see, I still have that just sitting up there. What I can do is I've got some glue that what I could do is glue on the back of it and then push it in and, you know, just hold it in to make that seal. So, well, to make it, you know, firm. But don't know yet. I'm having trouble finding W108 long wheelbase seals. Now I'm, you know, still on the search, you know, and I'll get 2 doors or so at a time because they'll probably run $40 or $50 a piece. Same thing, you know, with the back door. Now this seal, I did get it going. Yeah, this one. Now, how did I get that on there? Oh, and it's long, and that's what I did. So I just kind of have it hanging over there. So that one, it's too long for it, so I'd have to cut it and then glue it, but that might work. The next thing, stereo. Somebody's got some round speakers in where they're supposed to be 5x7s, and I'll measure those out. I've got stuff in my watch list for that. You know, it's it's time to start putting this car back together, and seeing, am I going to make some shows this year with it? I would love to, but I don't know. We'll see. But it certainly looks good. It runs, it starts, it runs, it drives. It drives very well, actually. There's no suspension work or anything like that needs to be done. It does need the top surfaces sanded down and repainted. I think I covered that in another video, but I really, I think I want to keep it the way it is right now. Maybe, drive it, kind of, local car shows or whatever. We'll just see how it comes. But, the top has got, some clear coat wear, but I've kept this inside all winter long. And so we'll see we see how we go. Now, this is another one that I've already got some money tied up into it, and where do I start and where do I stop? And that's where I'd like you, my viewers and subscribers, to put some comments down below. Now, one of the things that I wanted to share or chat with y'all about was, I'm not getting a lot of views on some of my, the Mercedes projects. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I don't know, if y'all like the Mercedes. I'm trying everything I can to, do what they suggest to do to get viewers and things like that, by putting links to other videos down in the description. And so I started doing that. I don't see any change in that. I mean, I'm working hard. They said, well, doing YouTube, doing YouTube is easy. Yeah, it ain't easy. Let me tell you. I mean, on my channel, I don't do any editing. I don't know. I don't really have time. I work a full-time job. YouTube is not my full-time job, but at the same time, I'm trying to get this to where, okay, it's a fun project, and I can get monetized enough that it'll supplement a retirement and continue to get some projects and things like that. Tell me what you would like to see, how my channel would go, how you would like to see the direction my channel would go. 1 year ago, I had the Lincoln Mark V, and that seemed to get a lot of views. I got a lot of views. I got, for a small channel that I am, I think we got 1,100 or 1,500 views, all natural, all, I didn't buy any views or anything like that. And I had gotten some good comments and things like that. People follow that kind of car. Apparently people aren't interested in Mercedes-Benz. And from the last video I just put up, which is only a 4 or 5 minute video, I guess I need to go back to Sesame Street because I didn't realize how many I had. So, what kind of car would you like for me to work on? Or what kind of a project? I mean, the 350 SL was a little further in detail, and it's still not done. I have some interior work to do. I still have the lower belt moldings or ankle moldings, whatever you want to call those, the rocker moldings that I need to put back on. I need to carpet the trunk, which I'm going to do, and really clean up and re-dye some of the vinyl or paint some of the vinyl inside on the center console. Other than that, it's Is it a show quality? No, but it is a good local show quality. Local show. It's a respectable 50-some-year-old daily driver that could be daily driven, but it's not going to be because it's going to have historical plates on it. So, folks, I'd like you to help me, get where I need to be or where I'd like to be. What kind of car? I mean, I don't have a lot of money to spend on a car, and I get a little bit at a time. And this is kind of how we did things back when I was a kid. When I was a kid, and my friend, I'll name him. Maybe I don't know if he follows my channel or not, or if he even knows, or if he's still alive. But my friend Robbie, this is what we would do. We would go to each other's houses and we would work on cars. And he had, Trans Ams. Him and his little brother, we were always working either under or we were under the hood of Pontiac Trans Ams and various different cars, they weren't broke, but we were trying to make them better. In my case here, sometimes these cars are broke. This one didn't run when I bought it. It runs now. It drives now. It drives very well. Lots of things to work on to, am I going to get it pristine? No. I'm going to, when I get it together enough to take it out and do a drive video, that'll be a nice video to see. In fact, I do have a drone that I got for Christmas from one of my relatives, and I don't know how to use it, but Jose does, and he's played with it already. And so what we're looking at is I'm going to learn to start editing, and I'm going to learn to start incorporating and mixing my videos, and hopefully that'll get some more viewers. And with the drone kind of going around the car while it's driving and things like that, it would create some good content. So we're going to work on that. I've got all kinds of country. I could take a car out on a country road and have all kinds of fun. And so that's some of the things that we have planned. And I hope that is something y'all would like. But what kind of cars? Because I have 7 Mercedes-Benzes and an F-150. And I am trying to sell one of the Benzes, and I may sell a second one, which will allow me a little cash flow to invest. Buying a car is not an investment, but buying another car to have as a project. And this could go into next winter, doing the same thing as we did with the 350 SL. Now, I have an interest in, my wife says I need to have a car that from my birth year, and I was born in 1961. She's like the idea that, that 350 SL is her birth year. This is also her birth year. She likes that I've got a couple of cars that are her age, and she likes them because I think she likes the cars from that era. Well, I was born in 1961, and there's not a lot of cars that I like from 1961. It's usually 1963 and 64 and 65. And I like the Thunderbird of that era. I found a couple of Corvair convertibles that would be kind of cool, but, that was a GM flop kind of car, so, I don't know. I do like Cadillacs from the 50s. The ones from the 60s seem to be getting a lot of attention, the early to mid 60s. I do like the mid 60s Chevy Impalas Chevy Impalas, but some of those cars are so hard to find. And so I just need some guidance from y'all. What would you guys like to see? What would you like to see work on? I mean, mainly I don't want to rebuild engines. I don't want to put performance engines in there. I want to make it the way it was when it came off the factory line, just like that 350 SL. Its original color was white. somebody painted it red, and I'm sure it happened in the late 70s, in the early 80s, when the TV show Dallas came out, and it had to be red. It's the same style of car, just doesn't have the park seat bumpers on it, or the park bench bumpers on it. And so they thought, well, that'd be cool enough. And then it was in a little accident because, Jose and I found where it had been hit a little bit. So it does have a little bit of underlying damage. I mean, the outer body is fine, but the bumper didn't quite fit. So it was pushed in just a little bit. And maybe I'll do a complete walk around video showing that someday. So that devalues the car. Doesn't make it a $15,000 or $20,000 car. So it's probably a $6,000 or $7,000 car. So quite frankly, I've got in it what it's worth. But those kinds of things, I don't want to go. If I have to rebuild an engine, I rebuild an engine. But I want to rebuild an older car engine. I'll have to invest in an engine stand and things like that. But something that is body work, since I've kind of gotten to a little bit into the involved, kind of intrigued on the painting. I think I did a pretty good job on the SL. I'd like to do another car where I take some of the body panels off, and American cars are going to be easy to do, easier at least, and take the front fenders off and stuff like that. Paint the firewall, paint the insides of the fenders, do that right, where I could hang stuff in here and paint it. But that would be, something that I would be interested in doing. It can be whatever make and model, but what intrigues you all? Put it down in the comments what you would like to see me try and find, and kind of go through the process of bringing it back to life. I'll travel 300 or 400 miles, maybe, 250 to 300 miles. I'll travel that kind of distance to get another car. I'm limited on space in here, so as you see, this garage, I can't get much larger of a car. So, because now I got the toolboxes up there, and so I'm very limited on what I can do. I think I went to an estate auction last Saturday, and there was an MGB, and it was a 68 or 69 MGB, and then there was a 66 Mustang coupe hardtop. And while it looked like Floyd Flintstone could drive the Mustang, it was pretty worse for wear. And was sitting there with Jose, and we were talking, and I said, I see $8,000 in work on this kind of car. I said, by the time we go welding in pans and I buy body panels from the aftermarketers and then put them on the car, I was seeing dollar signs. And would that car be worth that after we got it put back together? I mean, it needed a whole new interior. It had been sitting out so long. So models, brands, it doesn't matter. I don't know until the idea is thrown at me, and then being able to find one is the next thing. I mean, I found a couple 1960 and 61 and 59 Mercedes pontoon, the pontoon series. I don't think they're worth much. I don't think, even completely redone, I don't think they have that value. They don't have that nostalgia. This one here, it seems to have a lot of collector kind of value because it is the last of an era before the W120, well, before the 116. And so people like the stack up headlights and things like that. So put your comments down below. Give me the ideas. I would appreciate it. I really do appreciate all the, the people that have subscribed and do watch my videos. But give me an idea of what to look for next, because once I sell one, I probably will end up buying another one. But I don't need that many cars. I will probably sell my W126 300SD as well. And then that gives me a little bit of capital to work with, and hopefully that'll help me propel me to where I would like to be on my YouTube channel. So thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, do all those things, share with your friends, and put your comments down below. Have a great day.